Okay, that looked pretty good. The first step is always GCF, but there isn't any. What's our next step in factoring by grouping? Separate them, right. Really all you got to do that on paper, I think, is just circle the plus. And if that were a negative 56, you would circle the plus and put a negative in front of the 56. Okay, does that make sense? That doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's very helpful because then you know when you're factoring group 2, it reminds you that that's a negative 56. Okay? Okay, we broke it into groups. What's next? What do we do with group 1? GCF. What is the GCF of group 1?
9x squared.
Good, so we take out a 9x squared. What's our, this is kind of dorky, but I call it the leftover, right? What's left behind is the leftover factor. What's left behind? Okay, 7x minus 5. Okay, now we've got our circled plus sign that separates the groups. Okay, what's the next step? No? Okay, good. We propagate the leftover to the other side because that has to be common if factoring by grouping is going to work. Right, so that one has to show up if this process is going to work. And then we're going to see if there is a GCF that would create group 2. So what would I need to get a positive 56? An 8. And then we'll just see if it works. 8 times 7x is 56x, check. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40, so it worked, right? Okay, then the last step of factoring by grouping is to factor out what? You factor out common factors, right? What's the common factor in each of those two terms? 7x minus 5. So we are going to factor out 7x minus 5, which leaves behind what? What's left behind from group 1?
9x squared.
9x squared plus what's left behind from group 2?
8.
And we're done. Okay. Now, it might have been wise to first, before we do all that work, just to see if factoring by grouping, to know initially if it was even going to work. What are our tests to see if factoring by grouping will work or won't work? Because we can know, right?
Oh,
2 tests.
The fractions, right?
Okay, there's the coefficient test. So the ratio of the first 2 coefficients has to equal the ratio of the last 2 coefficients. So test 1 is 63 over negative 45 equal to 56 over negative 40. Well, what is 63 over negative 45 reduced to? What could I divide top and bottom by? 9. So I'd get negative 7/5. Is that equal to, I can put the negative out front, positive over negative. What can I divide into both 40 and 56?
8.
And that gives me 7 over 5. Okay, so it passed, right? So it passed test 1. What's test 2? What is it? Yeah, the exponential drop test, right? Does the exponent drop? Does the exponent drop by the same amount in each group? What's the exponential drop in group 1? Yeah. What's the exponential drop in group 2? 1. So we pass both tests which tells us that grouping is 100% guaranteed to work. So go ahead and do it, right? Make sense? Okay, good. All right.